Hello everyone and welcome to yet another live coding and chill. I'm your host Johnny. Hope you've already had amazing weeks and you're leading up to a great Friday evening and an amazing weekend. Today we'll keep working on the 10xify app, which you can also use as a SaaS starter, your own SaaS subscription model idea. Get started, get a head start with this. It's what I usually do in real life. I take my latest and greatest project and then base off the new idea for the new client or whoever else based on that. And today you can find the links in the description and play around and click around yourself. We have this app where you can create new interviews. There are some things that you can edit here, but it's the standard like CRUD, create, read, update, delete records. So you can more easily adapt to your own unique idea, your unique selling points there. And we have a gated limit of how many interviews you can create as a free user. Today, we'll start handling Stripe webhooks. So we'll deliver the product to the user where they're able to be upsold to go through a Stripe checkout flow and then make it to the pro tier where they can have many interviews, and then to the ultra tier where they can have infinite interviews if they're willing to fork up the money, if they're finding the value to this app. In later streams, maybe we'll add a free trial period or something like that. Maybe we'll allow one-click purchases. Again, I do have a big agenda for today and the future of these streams. Let me know what you'd like to see. I've had people reaching out about the Vision Pro, the Apple Vision Pro that's in the news. And what I always say, if you want to build something cool for the Apple Vision Pro, build a web app. Safari is working great on it. If it's good enough for Google and YouTube to only offer the Safari version of YouTube for Vision Pro for now, it's good enough for me. And make an app, a responsive app that works great on your browser, on Safari specifically, and it will look pretty good on the Vision Pro and get a head start. But maybe you'd want to see some Swift UI stuff and some actually native app development. We can do a fun stream on that if you're interested. But for today, what we'll be doing on the last stream, we were starting to handle some Stripe webhooks. We've set up Stripe because that's the thing that will be handling all our transactions, our user subscriptions, how users pay us money in the end. And we've told Stripe that they should be hitting this endpoint every time an event happens, every time we update a product, every time we update a price, every time some user gets created, buys a subscription, deletes a subscription, that sort of thing. But we're not doing anything other than console logging, what Stripe is telling us. And now it's when we'll start persisting stuff to our database, so we'll be able to identify that this user has a subscription, they are on the pro tier or the ultra tier. So exciting stuff. The way I've set things up to hit my local host device where we're doing development now is by using the Stripe CLI, and I'm telling to Stripe after logging in through the CLI to forward all the webhook events to localhost, to this local dev server, and that's how we'll be affirming, that's how we'll be developing and affirming that we are handling the webhooks correctly. Check out the last stream on how exactly we set these things up. Today, we'll be more concerned on handling the events correctly. We'll start, and I'll go to the agenda as well, by running some migrations. So our database would be able to handle products, prices, customers, and subscriptions. And then we'll start actually making this webhook handler code actually put stuff in the database. A question may be, why two sources of truth? Why have something in Stripe also be in our local database? And the answer is you should avoid having two sources of truth as much as possible. But in this case, we want to get around the Stripe quota. Maybe for products, it's fine if we hit the Stripe API every time and we cast that response, that'd be fine. But because for every user, we'd want to check whether they have an active subscription or not, we would be running into the Stripe quota at some point. So it's best, if you already have a database like we have in Superbase, it's best to try to sync that with the Stripe reality instead of having to query Stripe every time. When something gets updated in that front, Stripe hits the webhook, we update our database, keep that in sync, and we're good to go. Also, if it's our database, we can finagle some things, I guess, and resolve some problems with the users, but we'll arrive to those problems if needed. So first, we'll sync the products, our Pro product, and later on our Ultra product. We'll configure it in Stripe. We want that to be reflected in our database. So at some point in the app, like here where we have like way too many interviews, maybe we'll have a click here where we saw the classic free, better, best tiers or whatever we're gonna have. So the user is able to go through the flow and convert to that product that we are using Stripe as a source of truth to say the price for this product is X amount and it has these features, instead of needing a code deployment or for us to manually go into our own database. So everything will be in sync. The source of truth should be Stripe if we set things up correctly. The headache is going to be that the webhooks should be handling every event in order to keep data in sync. But we soon have two sources of truth. If we mess things up, the source of truth will always be Stripe, and we'll need to reset the database and fetch some data there from Stripe to sync that up. So products first, then each product in Stripe has a price, because maybe you have like a seasonal price, and very definitely you have like a monthly price and a yearly price. So maybe users can pay £5 or euros or dollars per month. But if they buy one whole year in advance, then they get a discount. They get £3 in advance. Or you may have discount codes, seasonal prices because it's Halloween or whatever you celebrate. And that's why each product has different prices. We'll be handling that next. Then we'll do some fun UI to actually show that product to the user. We'll probably, as I said, have them click here if they want to be upsold, if they find that they need more interviews than we're allowing on the free tier. And then, because they'll be able to actually buy something, we'll need to handle a new customer being created and a subscription being created. When they actually buy the product, we'll need to reflect that in our database. Then finally, we'll do something fun, which is integrate Stripe checkout flows, which is a low-code solution where we have to do something on the backend. We'll do it with SvelteKit form action, which we've done so many times. We should be pros at this. At this point, our backend will generate a secure link that gets them in the Stripe system, and then they go through the flow, they fill in their credit cards, and in the end, if they've converted, they get a success pack. We get that they've actually subscribed, and we should unlock the premium features that they just bought. So after they've subscribed, we'll actually make our backend understand, like do some calculations to see that they are on this subscription and therefore they should have these benefits. And then we'll actually allow the users to cancel their subscription again by getting them to the Stripe system, generating a link on our backend and get them to Stripe if they want to change their subscription, change their payment methods, or if sadly they want to cancel. You should always allow your users to cancel. If anything goes wrong, always have a contact email, so you're able to have people reach out and say, oh, this didn't work, and let's resolve this amicably. Again, this is like a high-flying early startup mindset. If you are a big company, you don't want people to individually be mailing you to do all of that. But as you get things going, if you have a few customers, this is manageable, and you always get much more feedback. You always deliver faster. I find that I always deliver faster when I can see people using the product. I get free user research by seeing them use the product, and then building features that they're asking for, or optimizing things that I see that they're getting stuck with or they wish they have. Anyway, whole aside, big agenda. This is the plan for today. By the end, our app should be live with a payment plan. People should be able to pay us money. Worth noting that we'll be doing everything on test mode. Today, Stripe has a test mode thing to ensure that if you're not ready, you're not actually charging people money. But if all goes well, over the weekend, I will flip test mode into live mode, and by next stream, people should be able to go through the flows. No problem. Anything else housekeeping related that I should say? We have the Stripe CLI forwarding the webhooks. That's great. Stripe also has a way where you can send events. You can trigger like events. And I thought that these were like test events, so you'll be able to develop your endpoint without changing anything in Stripe itself. But as it happens, every time you trigger that event, it's a real event. So Stripe has been creating like these products and prices for me, which is kind of funny. So at that point, I would say, instead of using the CLI to trigger these not the real fake events, you can just get in here and set up the products yourself. So they would be more realistic. If you have pictures, you have the pictures. If you have some metadata, you can add them there instead of messing around with updating the Stripe fixtures. So with all of that out of the way, I think we've done the recap. You can click around the app at 10xify.dev to find out all the features we've done in previous live streams. But now we should talk about what will be saving in the database. In a very, very previous live stream for SvelteKit and even before in Next.js, we had a starter project which had some initial Stripe tables, which we are gonna use today to write our own migrations and create our new tables. But we will be amending things. So for products, that starter that many people are still using cares about the ID of a product, whether it's active, its name, description, all great so far. Metadata JSONB, it just picks one image for every product, which I don't think I want. I think we'll want multiple images because Stripe allows for multiple images. So that's one change that we'll have. We'll try to have many images here. And images will be image URLs, really. Maybe it would make more sense to call these image URLs. Maybe not. We'll see. Then we'll do the pricing stuff. Let's create one by one, I guess. I do have the product here. So ID active, maybe we want the ID of the default price. I'm not sure if that's how we'd want it. That's also another thing that in the migration we don't have. So not sure about that. Like, why would we show the default price? Do we show every price? Not sure. Maybe it's worth keeping that in. Description, we said yes. Metadata, yes. Name, yes. We also want the images, and we also want the features, which we can maybe map out. It's an object that only has a name property, is what I found. And maybe we'll just save this. Features is what you can use to say, this thing gives you unlimited bandwidth and 25 interviews per month. Like, it's those things that when you have a pricing card, you can do like bam, 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 bullet points. These are what they call the features. And I'd want to have that. I don't think I'd care about whether we're on the test mode or live mode. And there are some things that we won't be making use of. Maybe they updated actually, like when it was last updated. Do we care about this? Is it just data that I'll never ever use? When was it created? It's things that the simple migration from Next.js doesn't have. Should we care about this? Maybe not. Maybe for debugging purposes, we can say when it's been updated or when it was created. So not sure about that. Maybe we should have it. All right, so we're taking inspiration from this products table, which you can see in the Johnify project. And we want to create a new migration. If I manage to go to the terminal. So here, we can pnpx superbase db migration new, and then the name of the migration. I'll listen to look at that. Superbase new CLI, like these keywords should be fine. Migration new, that's the name. And that's it, you don't need a flag. Perfect. DB, so it's Supabase migration new, and then the name. So create products table. That's what we'll name this. And this should have created a migration here for us. We can still keep these comments. We want the ID, we want the active, we want the name, we want the description, we want the images to be a text array, which I think you just do like this. So URLs, product images in Stripe. Metadata, you can run anything there. And we said that we may want the features as well. And let's see how they explain them here. Worth noting, if you just want to go live fast, Stripe does have the option to create a pricing table in their UI, and you can just embed this as an iframe or whatever they have in your SvelteKit app, and then you don't have to worry about creating your own second links and that sort of thing. But we can do it. Like that would be no code creating the pricing table, but we can do low code. And we said that maybe we want the created, but they're like measured in seconds since the Unix epoch, which I don't like. Do we care? Probably not. Maybe we can transpile this. So yeah, let's see in other migrations what do we have. So for the interviews table, we have created that. Interesting, in this, everything is escaped with quotes, while in this sample they escape nothing. Let's do the same with updated that. So yeah, I think that's what we need. And we're not gonna reset our database, but anything else we want? Probably not. Cool. So we will not be resetting our database for now. I think we can just do pnpx Supabase migration up, and then it will run any migration that's not been run yet, which would be the one we just created. And we want anyone to be able to read this but not update it, or delete records. Great. I think that looks fine. I think that looks great. I think that's going to be the easiest migration of the day. Oh, you had one thing to page, Johnny. You created one thing. Well, I guess we did like a couple changes. All right, so we should have a products table now. Timestamps, text arrays. Looks great. Looks awesome. Let's put some stuff into it. So we will be creating even more migrations. I think we'll be creating like 3 more tables today. We'll get there. But We enable row-level security, so the users won't be able to update the products if they were being cheeky. Like, no way they'd be able to do this. How? It's the default price. I was also thinking, should we have a default price? Nah, we'll think about it later. So if no one can write to this table or update this table, how will we add the products to this table? How will we update them? Well, we'll create a Supabase service client, super admin client, which with the service role, Supabase can do anything. And that's how we get around the row level security. So here's how we'll do that. I have an example here, creating this client. We're not going to need this, so it's just this. And to ensure that we only use this on the server, we are going to put it, as usual, in the lib server directory. Source lib server. SvelteKit does its own magic to not allow you to use this on client, which is disastrous, but still, SvelteKit is not going to be doing any magic to ensure that you're not using this for regular Supabase client operations. So you can still mess it up and use the super admin client as a user when a user is trying to do something. Don't do that. That's on us. We need to remember to not use the super admin client. So I will call this Supabase admin to make it even clearer, and call this Supabase admin 2. And the Supabase URL should be Supabase public Supabase URL. And Supabase service role key. These are in my .env and in the Vercel environment variables when we deploy. And we don't want to refresh the sessions and all of that. That's what these options are about. For regular, as a regular user operation, we do have our hooks file as a reminder, where we create a server client for the user to use. And according to cookies, they may have some privileges or they may not, according to whether they're logged in or not. And we put this in the locals. So in our server endpoints, we usually do use this one. So we get the Supabase from the locals. That's the one that our users are using for their operations. And we have this special one, the Supabase admin client here, which we are going to use to do super admin operations, like the stuff we're going to do for the webhooks. Right. So let's imagine we're creating or updating a product. I think that's what we want to do. Webhook handles a product being created and updated. Starting to cook here. So I'm not doing anything here other than logging the product. We'll want to map this to whatever we have in the database, which I guess the ID and active are just passed by. Let's run the generate script, which generates some types according to our Supabase database. Did I call it something else? Did I call it generate Supabase? No, it is Supabase. Not PNPX, it's PNPM. This is not a public executable local script, right? We created something, it updated this file, which now has like the products. Maybe it has like a product type somewhere. No, not really. Guess each row has this. So can we get this somehow? I think so. Hello, script kitten. Is that a script kid reference? I like it. Yes, there is a place in the question is, are you able to bring the Supabase instance from server to client, like from layout server to layout Svelte via load? And the answer is kinda. The Supabase docs does have the way to do this, but let's open this up. So the layout server .ts doesn't really do anything regarding that because Supabase is already on the locals and anything server side can use that client. But the plus layout, the plus layout.ts is creating a new client, a browser client in here. And you are able to use that client for your client-side operations. Like if you want to set up a real-time subscription to a Supabase table, then what you'll be doing on the front end on mount, you'll be using that that client. So any component will have in its data the Supabase client out. So even our layout file, you'll see that we are doing something. Are we doing something with Supabase here? Guess not. But we could. In the page data, if we look at this type, the Supabase client would be in there. I have tried it, yeah. I have used it and it just works. I wonder if you're using the new library that they have, the, what do they call it? The Supabase SSR. So that's the latest and greatest one that they're using to create the clients, the browser client and the server client. So long as you're using this one, you should be fine. You should be fine if you use that one. With a real-time connection. Yeah, I have worked on it with a real-time connection. Keep in mind, you do need, like for real-time, you may have needed to set something up in the migration, but I'm not sure how to help you debug this. If you send a link in the Discord on the GitHub repo, I may be able to have a look and help you out there. But yeah, it's worked for me, so there must be something else going on. All right, so where were we? We're here. Do I recommend the use of layout server? Yeah, we're not really doing anything other than making the session available, I guess, to the components. In general, I prefer doing everything on server side. As much as I can get away with, I do things server side and don't have the components load data on the client afterwards. Even if it's not core data that you may want on the initial load, so below default stuff, even that I would serve on the server and then stream using a promise to the client. The only reason to use the client-side Supabase client, the browser Supabase client, is for real-time connection. So for that one is what I've used it. So I'd say that's my advice. Do everything on the server, including user session stuff. But if you want real-time stuff, then use the browser client. And we're using the session, I guess, to decide what you're doing, what we're doing with the header here. So we do the layout of server stuff to put the session in the data here in order to show whether they should see the profile or should they see that they should log in. So that's essential. Like you definitely need this on any app. So we have like this app. If you go here, you get redirected server side. but the user should be able to see like the login button to actually go and log in. And for user details, I wouldn't be doing it for that. I would only be doing it for the header, the login, like should you log in or log out stuff. But maybe I'm making this up, I'm not sure. So we have this profile page, for example. Let's see what we're doing here, since we're in this discussion. So yeah, even in this case, this page is not looking into the session to check out like the user email or whatever else. I have the server load method pass the user object there. And invalidate all, yeah, I use it indirectly because by default, when you indirectly, by default, when you use SvelteKit form actions, it will invalidate stuff for you if you don't override the default behavior. And expensive for Supabase, I wouldn't say so. Like, it depends on when you do it. If it's just on form submission, for example, it's not going to be expensive. If you have like a timeout, like an interval, every second refetch the data, that's going to be too much. It depends on what you're doing. So if every second your backend is querying OpenAI and then you're storing this to Supabase, that's going to be expensive. If it's not on an interval and it's every time the users submit a form or change like their details here, it's not going to be that expensive. Like I would say, like, don't prematurely optimize for this. I'd assume that it's not going to be that expensive and you can change it later if it starts looking like it's a bottleneck. But again, it depends on what you're doing. There will be cases where it will be expensive, but I'd imagine that most sensible cases, it wouldn't be expensive. And great questions, keep them coming. Right, but also, what we're within here. So we have this mapper, and we have this type product that I want to map to a database product. And I was wondering, can I get this type somehow, like this product type? And maybe the answer is no, but we have this magically generated schema file. So it'll be schema here. We have the database here. Can I get database public tables products row? Is that what we want? Maybe. Let's see. So bring in this guy. Public tables products, one row. So this should map the result to one row. And why am I doing this? Maybe I can say type db product this, then map this to this, less of a railroad, and then I can see that this needs active created at. So that's what all I wanted to do. Created at, I guess, should be new date and then pass the created here. Let's look at the example they have. So created, is that seconds or milliseconds? The classic question, measured in seconds. So GitHub Copilot is correct. We would need to do this. And then do ISO string, and I think that's going to be fine. Is this ever null? No. Is this ever null? Guess not. 4 down. Description. Name, remember those two. And what else do we have? Features, of course. So for features, we want to do map here. Is that ever null? Not. We want to extract the name out of the feature. Just return this. String or undefined array. That doesn't make sense. We filter too. This may be undefined, I guess. It remains here. Pass it here. But it thinks that this is like a string or undefined array because this is undefined. That's what it thinks. But since we're filtering, it will never be undefined. All right, we have metadata as well. Images and metadata. All right, now we have everything. I guess if I do like this thing, this inline filter, it's gonna be happier. And this should be it. So we have this guy now. And we said, would we want anything else? Have images, features, maybe we'd want the default price, I guess, which we forgot about. Can I go down one in the Supabase migration? Oh, squash, interesting. I want to add like the price ID there, but let's focus. We don't really want to do that. So that should work. And what we actually want to happen is use our newfangled client. So Supabase admin. SvelteKit asking, I wonder what happens if there is a nested Supabase API call in an application and one of them fails. Is it a bad practice to have a nested API call? It's like a function that has multiple Supabase API calls, I assume is the question. Well, Supabase transactions, is that a real thing? So working with databases, you usually do what's called a transaction. So if you're doing an operation that is dependent on other operations, and if one of them fails, you just don't want anything to happen, then you do a transaction. And they do support it, they say here, with this .transaction thing. So if you have multiple operations and you want, if any one of them fails, don't actually update the database, you'd use a transaction. And that's something that is common across various database clients and databases. If it's just random database calls that are not related to each other, then I guess it depends on how you catch the errors and your error handling. In general, your app should work even if some parts of it fail, so do your best to like catch the errors accordingly. But do they have like a good example here? Not really. Thank you for the compliment. So this is not like a good example. A better example could be if you have a limited amount of product, like if you have one product and then you want to charge a customer and then remove the last product there, you will want these two operations to succeed. If for whatever reason you cannot charge the customer, you wouldn't want to update your database to say now we have like no products left. So the transactions guarantee that this won't happen. In this example, it's like I'm inserting this user and I don't want to insert this other user. I don't know how that would ever come into play, but I'm not sure. But you get the idea of what the transactions are supposed to do. So I guess it's all good. Let's say I can't find the transaction thing, but if the AI is saying it has to be true. All right, so we have the Supabase admin client, and we want from the products, we can make a Supabase client smarter as well by passing it with schema that we've auto-generated. And where did I have this generated thing? Like in source? Maybe I should have it in lib so I can grab it better. Oh well. And here from products, I want to upsert the DB product. So upsert is a method which in theory, if there is no ID, it's going to create this product, insert it. But if there is an ID, it's going to try to find that product and update it. So insert and update, portmanteau, upsert. So what's happening here. And I guess that's just gonna work. Let's see what we're doing in that other repo from ages ago. Upsert. Hello Snow, how are you doing? I did want to include default price ID. Past Johnny did want this. I guess Past Johnny also says if there was an error, throw the error. So get the error out. Or else maybe we do want the console log. Cool. So now we should be handling these. Doing fine. I hope you'll be doing amazing by the time we're done with handling these Supabase subscriptions. Stripe subscriptions with Supabase, I should say. I'm also thinking, should we be like soft deleting these products? Maybe not, but we'll handle it later. Let's see what happens if we do fire one of these webhook events. So let's trigger a product created, and we're hoping we'll see it in our database. So this fire this webhook. It says we upserted the product, so at this point we are confident. Great. It's active, it has a name, it has a description, has no images, empty array of images and metadata and all of that. Created, updated app, looks good. Code language is this. Mostly it's TypeScript. So this is TypeScript. We have the front end being Svelte, which mostly looks like HTML for the template and stuff, but has some special things like this and how you do loops like for each, and also has scripts tags that are also in TypeScript. And we're also writing some SQL today. Question from Script Kidding. How webhooks work with Supabase? Is it useful? So I don't know what webhooks Supabase provides for us. I haven't had them use webhooks, but very often I will have other services fire a webhook to my app, and then I would persist it in Supabase, and that's what we're doing today. In Stripe, we're going to create a product, and we're going to get a customer through a checkout flow, and then they'll fire a webhook, which is like an event, saying that this happened in Stripe, and maybe you want to do something in return in your app, and our SvelteKit code here is persisting stuff. Supabase edge functions. So they are useful. I was using it for the ask, like the chat thing here. So the generative Q&A says, how do I do CSS gradients? You can ask anything, and then it will search our Supabase database, everything I have there, and try to find like a response for you after hitting ChatGPT as well. And that used to be a Supabase edge function, but I've stopped using that. I think it was like a couple live streams ago because it was super expensive. So now instead of a Supabase edge function, it's just a SvelteKit action that I'm using in return, because that's much cheaper. So I'm sure there are use cases for using Supabase edge functions, but I think they're too expensive. I think you can get around not using them, especially since they used to only support Dino, and maybe you don't want to use Dino in your project. Maybe you just want like vanilla JavaScript or TypeScript or something like that, not Dino. So yeah, there may be, if you have a SvelteKit app or an XJS app, I don't think you'd need Supabase edge functions, but there are many other things you may have where it would be handy to have a Supabase edge function. Like if you just have a Flutter app or a React Native app or a Swift UI. And thanks for being an active follower and for engaging in the chat. I always like to code with people keeping me company and having questions. I feel like I'm useful if I'm able to respond. Or I learn something if I'm not able to respond. So I do look things up later. Right, so bottom line, Supabase edge functions, I think they're super expensive. Can be useful if you have SvelteKit app or an XJS app or something like that. Just use that. Cool. So we managed to get this product in the database. Let's try to create a real product, because now I guess we created the product here. Let's try to update a product too, which is going to create yet another one and then also run if it should update it. So maybe I should have just done that. So in the database, we do have two. It created one that's the same as this one, and then almost immediately it updated the product with the metadata payload. So it's looking like it's going to work. We may want to handle deletion as well. So Skirkiding says, never use Next.js, only SvelteKit. It's awful to learn React when you learn Svelte for the first time. I do think Next.js is extremely good, and React, of course, became so popular for a reason. But I agree, and that's why when I talk about vanilla HTML and CSS stuff, like how to do a text gradient, I always use Svelte because it looks more like HTML and it looks more like JavaScript, while React looks like its own thing. JSX is its own thing. So if I want to teach something that's generic, I go with Svelte because it is intuitive, as you say as well. It looks like vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Right. So we're handling creating the products. So let us say, or delete it just in the one bullet point. I'll do another one. And in which case, let's try to figure that out, because on the other app I wasn't doing it at all. Maybe like it's gonna be kind of similar. And on delete, what do you pass? Do you need to match later? You just say delete. Let's see. I like double checking deleting stuff. Page and yes, here, delete. So you just delete and then you say what you want to match. Or I can do this. Yeah, let's do match. Keep things similar. So we have this delete product. We need to use it in here. And this object is still a product. So that's neat. Let's confirm that's the case. We have this one that ends on 6D, which is something created today, surely. Should be this one. It still doesn't show us the ID. Come on, come on. We're developers. We want to see IDs of stuff. ID. Oh, there you go. 6D. This is it. Delete. This cannot be undone. Right, that's not chill. It's just a test mode product. It's fine. It's fine. All right, so that's deleted. Let's see if in our database. Oh, deleted. Great. Handled. Nailed it. Nailed it. So we weren't handling this earlier on. So what happens if I delete, like, you know, all of them? This one should be fine. And we have nothing. I guess we'll just get a log here. Does the operation not error out? So we are here and we break and we come here. It says delete product. I guess there is no error even if you don't delete anything. I guess. Let's try it again. Many more to delete. So this one. DJ ends with DJ. So it says that it deleted it, but I guess the operation is fine, like it wasn't there to begin with, so like it silently fails. There must be a way to check how many records you deleted, and then you could say, couldn't actually delete this, but hey, fair enough. Let's delete everything. Oh, can't delete this because I guess we also created a price for this product. Doesn't really matter. We want to create a product, I think. That's what I want to do next. So we did this, we did this. Oh, I want to do the prices first. I'm such a tease. So how do the prices look? Maybe commit what we got so far. So we created the admin client. Don't use this in your life. Don't let your users use this, rather. And I'm also thinking, should I be writing this file in lib? I think so. So lib generated. Let's delete this generated file. Is having Supabase real-time in a chat app bad idea? That's a great idea. That's like the prime use case for a real-time subscription for chat, because you won't want to be polling like every 5 seconds, like we said before. You'd want to poll. You want to get the data as soon as a new chat is being created, whether it's like once a day or once every half a second. The real-time subscription to that is like the prime, the hero use case for real-time subscriptions. So go for it, for sure. It's what Firebase was popularized with, as well, with Supabase began as an open source Firebase alternative. Right, so I deleted that file in order to put it in the lib directory. So let's create it again. I need to create a directory. I should have moved the file. And moved on with my life. But I also need to target this correctly. And why am I doing all of this? Because now here, I guess this is kind of fun, but I can do $lib generated. Yes, Firestore, although back in my day, they only had the Firebase Supabase, the Firebase real-time database, and then they upgraded to the Firestore. And here we do the same thing with $lib. But here, when you start getting to like to the many dots to track back, and here where it's like a million of them, that's where doing $lib. I like that better. Don't see that. Do see that, sorry. And try to generate again, just in case. So these things we deleted it, but we didn't really, we just renamed it. Changed this package that generates it and added some $lib stuff to point to the generated database file, database type file. Great, 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 great. So sync Stripe products with by handling webhook event. Nailed it. Next, handle prices. So we have the price thing, and in our other project, this one, used to manually declare the types of database. I've declared types manually for so many databases for years. It happens to everyone. I'm so happy that the tooling is so good nowadays, that stuff like that gets created automatically for you. And one of the main reasons that I do like SvelteKit over Next.js, because the automatic TypeScript type generation, like the dollar types, anyway, that thing is so much better with SvelteKit versus Next.js, where very often you have to say, this route has this dynamic prop manually. Well, with SvelteKit, it just happens. So, what's the best code language for cybersecurity? Wow. Machine code, zeros and ones. So at least humans are not able to read it if your code leaks. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to come up with a great question for that one, because I wouldn't think that the language itself is what makes it secure. I guess there are some ecosystems where they're kind of insecure by default and more apt, like more likely to make you shoot yourself in the foot. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to say what's the best one. Sorry. In my head, it's not the language, it's you that makes your app and your code better for cybersecurity or not. Right, so where are we? We want to do the same thing, but for the price events. We have price created and updated, and maybe we'll want like the price deleted stuff. And we have the upsold price record here. And from the price table, they have like a million things. We definitely want the ID, the product ID, whether it's active, description, unit amount, I guess, currency, yes, for sure. Pricing type, the interval count, trial period. It looks correct. Is there anything else that we may want? Like what's the recurring, for example? The recurring components of price as interval and usage type. So on this one, do they take them out of the recurring? Yeah, they do take it out of the recurring. There's some. Python is good, but it's a matter of not that Python's like more secure or less secure or better for cyber security or worse. It's just a popular language, and a lot of systems are made in Python, but a lot of them are made in Java, for example. And of course, more modern ones are made in JavaScript. But it's not the language itself. It's not like, oh, you use Rust and then it's going to be like secure by default. Python, even today, is very good to learn because it's very big in ML, like AI, machine learning, that sort of thing, much like JavaScript is nowadays. But it was the thing for machine learning for many, many more years before JavaScript. So there it has a head start, lots of code bases in Python. Right, so they are getting some stuff from this recurring one. Which is fair enough. They're using the nickname for the description, which I don't understand. This alias. That should either be name or something else, right? I remember first starting to do Haskell, and it's like, or Closer even, which is like the baby mode Haskell, and looking at code and thinking that my brain was gonna fry. It takes a while to get used to these different languages. So I'm just looking at this model and thinking, what else would we want to store in the database? What's tiers mod, for example? We won't be using this. And we know we'll always have like subscriptions. So yeah, we could name this nickname and just move on with our lives. And then they're making this object flat for some reason. But why? Should we just save the recurring? I think so. Why not? It's only used here. And in Terol as well. Ah, interesting. So they're taking it out because this is like the day, week, month, year, and they're kind of like hard typing it. They're making the schema only accept specific prices, so that's why they're taking it out. Fair enough. They have thought of things. So yeah, we should do the same thing here. Take some things out. But just change. This should always be something, right? All right, let's copy all of this. First things first. Let's create a new migration. Is it going to be prices? And in this new migration, let's paste in everything and double check. This references products, great. So pricing type, pricing plan, interval, near the amount, sure. We'll be looking at the recurring ones, I guess. We'll be looking at this to toggle, is it a monthly price or a year price? Number of intervals, I'm not sure. Trial period for sure, how many days? Keep that. The metadata looks fine. So tiers mode, we won't be bothering with. Won't be bothering with unit amounts. They just have one subscription. The created and updated ones. Do they only have created? Interesting. Does the price not get created? Oh, nickname, like it's supposed to be hidden from customers. So that's something we want to change. So description, not a real thing. It's actually nickname. It's a brief description of the price, hidden from customers. I get why they named it a description, but hey. Sir John. How knightly, thank you. Tailwind or SaaS. So you can use Tailwind with SaaS. SaaS is a CSS tooling language, like a superset of CSS. You can write CSS in SaaS and then have things like variable. Tailwind is a CSS framework, so it has classes that you can use to style your stuff. I wouldn't use SaaS nowadays because vanilla CSS and with post CSS, we have the things that we need. We can nest stuff in CSS now. We can have custom properties or CSS variables. So I used to use SaaS, but not anymore. You don't need SaaS anymore or less, which was a similar thing. So I would use CSS, not SaaS or less. And I love Tailwind. I use Tailwind all the time, especially for beginners. You don't need to know all the little CSS codes that exist. Tailwind usually takes care of that for you. It's just like apply this class and it will actually apply two styling attributes for you to get around of things needing to float left or whatever. So I would use CSS, not SaaS or less. And I advocate for Tailwind all the time, for sure. But it's not what SaaS is. It's a different thing. More like Bootstrap, I guess. Right. Anything else I want to steal from here? Last ever. We do have the type, right? Why didn't they call this type? Who knows? Because it's nested? No, it's here. Type is pricing type. Right, in any case, I think we've got what we wanted. Ooh, they have a check for this. this in. I think we're good. The interval, let's double check this. Day, week, month, year. Perfect. All right, so we can have this. And should we add the column as well? Maybe next time. Next migration. So should we run the migration? I guess so. Select us. We have the pricing table. Let's run our generate function. We did it. And now we want map stripe price to DB price. And we can do the same trick here again. Our DB price should have a prices table, get a row there, and this should return a DB price. And now it's like this returns nothing of the sort. So active currency. I'm gonna try to give Copilot a chance to do something. It's not really doing it. And what else do we have? Product ID, of course. I have copied everything here, probably. So trial period days is the real thing. Recurring is the real thing. And I guess we'll be extracting something from recurring, like these guys. Doesn't exist on that price. What's that about? There it is. Did I trim this up? Not a real thing. Ah, it's product. It's product. Product ID. But maybe this is a Stripe product, so that's why I did the type of product. If it was string, then this is the ID. So let's check that. Or else we're gonna use a product ID because it's a product object. And then our mapper is happy. Anything else we're doing here? Anything else weird? not really. So now I can copy all of this. Same thing here, but we'll map Stripe price to DB price and pass in the price. And put this in the prices table. And upsert this. And let's tell our spelling thingy that this is a real thing. Upsert it. Everyone's doing it. And I do believe in our server we are doing the price created thing. All right, cool. So now I believe if I trigger a webhook event here, it's going to create a product too. So we'll be doing cleanup, but we'll also be testing that everything works. So price created, it creates a product, it creates a price, and that's it. Let's see what we have in our database. We have a product and we have a price. There you go. And it's linked to this product that we have. Great. Awesome. Good. And let's delete the price. Yes, this should really just be ID. Let's be honest. And was I mapping this for no reason? Come on, Johnny, get together. So ID string, what I actually want here, and match the ID. Refactoring. We are refactoring. And delete price. This is just needs an ID of price. We don't map anything. And from prices table, we match the price ID. So we can save this in here. Just pass the ID and delete the price. Price. Bring that in. And let's go to the price table, delete our only price that we have. We're already in the 9th of February. Here it is. Can we delete this price? If no one is using this price, you can delete it. We've deleted it, and it is indeed deleted. And let's delete this product too. Deletion still works despite the refactor, and I guess to delete this one, we need to delete the price first. Is that how it works? No. I guess I did like a test webhook subscription. That's why it exists. So yeah, we have like this fake customer created by Stripe CLI customer. They have a credit card too. All these guys, and they have me for my own tests. Interesting. Also interesting that these customers do not have emails, and all our customers will have emails, like everyone in the world. And their suggestion is that first they log into your app, so you have their emails, and then when the Stripe event fires, you can map that it's that user of your app based on the email. If you don't have the email, you don't do it. Maybe in the future we'll figure out a different way to do it, because many places like Amazon try to do the one click and you pay to optimize their conversions. Well, for us, we'll need to say first you log in and then you go buy. Can we circumvent this step? They recommend no. Their examples say no, but we may be able to do it in the future. Right, and rightly, Stripe doesn't allow you to delete the product that someone is paying for, which is fair enough. Very fair. But it looks like we're good with prices and products. Maybe we can create another migration for the default price. Like default price ID. I think so. So the default price ID is nullable, while the product is not nullable here. So is that something that we should have changed? Should this be not null? Maybe. Should I, like, is this the time to reset the database? Maybe. In which case, maybe I can cheekily add the column here. But of course we don't have like a prices table yet, so we couldn't add it. So let me say not null here. Hopefully this will work. But I also want a new migration. When a product gets updated, then they may get like a default price ID, yes. And we'll see if that works out for us. And we have an add here. So in public products, add column default price ID, and it's gonna be whatever this is. Text references prices. Too many nulls. I don't know what I was thinking there. Just do it lowercase. All right, will this work? And if it does, let's update this. Let's first run it. Generate magic file. Here This may be null, so maybe like 2 ternaries. Too many ternaries. So is it null? But if it's null, it's an object, isn't it? So maybe let's do it to a different level. Or else, is that the real thing? So if it's a string, we just use this. Or else we check if it's truthy, it's going to be an object and we can use its ID, or else it's going to be null. So we're going to use that. That's the thinking here. Great, and usually products will not have a default price ID, but at some point they will. So I think we've done our price stuff, and then we need to create a single product. So here, send the product. And I have created elements as well. And badge. Interesting, the API says it can have up to 8, but here it's just 1. Sure. I won't be doing my taxes live. That's boring enough to do not off stream. But let's say that this is like 5 for for a monthly billing period, recurring. And you can just buy 1. Anything else we want here? No. This is the nickname that we won't be using. It's going to be a flat rate. You're subscribed for the month, and that's it. Great. Also, we are creating the product, but we're also adding the first price. And it becomes the default price. And let's also do a yearly price. More euros. And that's going to be 12 times 3, I guess, 36. Different currencies, if we need it, we won't. So you have the 5 per month as the default, and then you do the per year. I wonder, why do you want that to be the default? Anyway, you can change that later, more options. Metadata. In your case, you probably will have the one Stripe store with all your products. But in this case, because I'll be using the same one for Zonify, I won't be creating like a million companies for every one of these little sub SaaSes. I will be using this metadata property to actually filter and see that I only wanted Nexify products. Sure. And you can have as much metadata as you want. Like here, maybe you can have like the Oktoberfest or whatever too. And these are the feature lists, which we will be using. And interviews, the support, and this. Sure. So let's add this product and see what happens. Has a tax code, interestingly enough. Has an image, looks great. Related things make it to our database. Yeah. Great. Seems everything we ever wanted is here. Including the default price? No. So that's disappointing. But still, at the end of the word. We didn't add a nickname there, which is fair enough. We have that it is a recurring subscription for sure. The year versus month. It all looks good to me. This is the only one that I'm skeptical about. Like, would I need to update this? Make this the default price. Let's see. How can I make this the default price? Must be a way. Oh well, doesn't matter that much, I suppose. The idea now is how do we show this in the UI? It is in our database. And we can get all prices thanks to this working. Even though this isn't working, this is working, so these are pointing to the correct product. So let's think about our UX here. So we've done this, create a single product, monthly yearly plans, UI. Let's say that here we're on our limit. They can click upgrade in your membership and they go to a product page, like what do we call it? Upgrade. How would we do that? If we want the upgrade to work with SvelteKit source routes, protected route. So in the app group that we've created here, maybe I'll take inspiration. I'll take inspiration from the profile page. I'll call this upgrade in our server. We're gonna say upgrade. get more value for more money. And let's not have any actions yet. And the UI for this, what's gonna be? Right, and then we'll have like we want to show the products, I guess, there. And I don't know what we'll be doing here for the form. We'll see, I'm just skipping it for now. And in the dashboard, where we see this, it can actually be a link. It should be upgrade, maybe it should be like Pro, Premium. So instead of upgrade, this is Premium. So if we click here, we should get to this page. Great. And now we want to show our products here. So let's fetch our products. So instead of the users table, we'll select the products table. And what do we want to select? What do we actually want to select here? Everything? What are we going to be showing to the user? Let's see. Product has ID. I guess we need that. Like we want the pricing as well at some point. So not sure. I want the name. We want only active products, so that's something to match. Not single. We want active products for sure. We want name, description, images, features, and maybe that's it. Name, description, images, features, and yeah, let's see what we get here. And the products are going to be the data. And here, let's do like a JSON stringify data products. Here you go. We fetched them. And do we only fetch one? Unclear. Put it in a div. I guess the other one is not active. Ah, no, it's on the database, the other product. Sure. Can I filter in a JSONB field? Should I try to guess how it would work? Let's see. So here I want the metadata, the nextify to be true. Does that work? No. That's not the real thing. Tabs. Overlaps. Let's Google this. Should we start ChatGPT like GitHub Copilot do this? Before guessing, like, can I actually do metadata, the nextify, true? Can I nest it like this? Maybe not. Nope. B. Contains. Sure. Filter is not a real thing. Is it? Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Yeah, not a real thing. Not a real thing. Is it because I'm not bringing them to the... Could be. But it's not. So this is one of the things we're doing. This would be... all right. I guess that's how Postgres would do it. So it kind of makes sense. It didn't crash. That's something. But it's a string true. All right. Do I need to bring the metadata? No. Can I do multiple equals? All right, seems to work. We got there. I don't like the metadata tenexify true. Maybe app could be tenexify. And so here, again, that's something that you will probably not need because you won't have like one stripe for multiple apps. Now we should be getting this, but not. So these don't get updated. Webhooks. This guy. Great, that's fine. The details. Oh, we want many more events. Is this listening to everything? you so. So did we not handle an event? What happened there? It seems like the product updated one is not quite working. What are we listening to? This one, 400. Product updated, return the 400. Great. So that's something that we should have done. But should have been handled. Product updated. Must have messed up something. Product updated. Gets here, upsells the product. Upserted product doesn't work, but we didn't throw an error actually. The ID is here. And can we retry it? So this should be tasked now. And oh, do we need to match? Did I say references something else? Did I mess it up? References prices, Johnny. Come on. Alright, time to reset the database, unfortunately. Because, yeah, I don't think we can rerun this. That's why we didn't get the price. So I messed this up. I was referencing the same thing. Yeah. So reset the database, unfortunately. I'm gonna add the key again, but we will need to log in again, so it will take a bit of time. Somehow we're still logged in, but we lost all our interviews. Should have logged out first, for sure. So let's get to the cookies, delete all cookies, clear. We need to log in. Let's see this guy. Let's go to the in bucket. Login, demo the login flow. We are logged in and creating the views. Great. And now this may crash again because of the prices this time. I may need to do it again. So many migrations. Right, in here, look at the migration again on this one. It doesn't have a name, so it's fine. Let's see what the problem may be. Could not this, could not this. Let's try to create a new product. See if that works. Let's upload the same picture for now. And for Pro, let's say it's 10 for the monthly one. This plan. We may need to handle it at one stage. All right, so this exists, and it does have a default price now. Great. Great. And all we need is to add the other yearly price. So what's this? 8. Let's do 8. $90. Sure. All right. So did this update correctly? That another product. Whoa. No, it's a price. Okay. Okay, fine. So it added the other price. Great. We can delete our other product. It should be fine. Figure it out later. That's why you do stuff in test mode. And now let's add something in the header. Or in the profile. Here's where we'll be checking for the plan. Let's just go to the premium page. Right, so we are bringing in this. Let's make a little card. don't particularly like any of these. Guess this one is dark mode. All right, so let's just create a card, pricing card. Components. Pricing. And what does it have? It will get some stuff. Name. And it's gonna have like an email URL. And it's gonna have a price, sure. Maybe we format it later. It's gonna have features, string array. Sounds good to me. Sure. And yeah, let's just do it quickly. And we'll make it nicely later in the episode, in the stream. Already 2 hours in. This went crazy. Oh, it's not gonna have price, interestingly enough. So let's pass the name, let's pass the features, and let's do image URL. That's the image is the first one of them. And let's say no price for now. Great. Right, so we have this. Where's one of these? Maybe. Mark. Doesn't need to be the prettiest thing in the world. maybe it's fine. So yeah, now dynamically we'll have these guys and we'll need to sort them somehow. And we'll need to pass in the price too. So how do we join in Svelte? You select like prices, something. Okay, fetch data. So join table. So let's do this. So here on the backend, what do we need to do? Here, we also want to select backticks here, backticks here, the prices table. That's what they do. Let's select the idea, yes. What do we actually have there for price? Interval. And unit amount and currency. Not quite. I guess instead of interval, we called it something else, didn't we? Interval. No, it is interval. So what was the problem? It could not fit products. This fits the prices ID. Still doesn't work. Oh, is it because of this? Not. Trying to find like something unique here. So yeah, unit amount. What's that again? Did we call it unit amount? Yeah. How else could it be? with a pivot table. This is just themes, so we are not sure about this. Oh, this is already failing. A comma. So this doesn't fail. Price star fails. But why? More than one relationship was found for products and prices. Oh, is it because of the default price? Ugh. That's why they didn't have the default price. So I believe we will have to reset the database again. I think the default price is causing us more trouble than it's worth. Like this default price ID, now it has like 2 ways to reference prices, and I don't like that. So let's pretend this never happened. Let's log out. Let's reset the database again. Ugh, we'll need to do the product again though. Oh no. This may take a while. We should have like some seeded data there. Should have created seed data from what we had now. Whoops. What else can we say, if anything? So here we can yearly and 4 times 3 with 6. It's like, is this like too much of a deal? Doesn't matter. Just checking stuff out. So now let's go through the in bucket flow again. Oof. Did we mess it up more than ever? We did. So this one we cannot do anymore. We don't care about this. And now it should be happier. If only we could retry that webhook, those webhook events. Right, promising. Let's edit the prices. This is the nickname, right? We hacking the system enough. Now we have the products. Great. Let's see. Here we are. It's happening. We have them. And we did all of this because we couldn't fetch price stuff, right? But we want to fetch the ID, the name, the currency and unit amount, and interval. Not a real thing. Oh yeah, no name. It's just no name. We're good. Yeah. All right. Getting somewhere. So now the products have prices, and we need to derive whether we should show the monthly price or the other price. And maybe we need to map the products in like priority as well, like according to their price. So what do we do? We do want to return the product. But the prices are gonna indeed be different. Great. And do we want to return this? or two loops per product, but hey. Loops everywhere. Can optimize this later. Just need to get going. All right. So this should always have a price. We could also validate that these actually have names. Only so stuff that we know will have great UI. Oof, but it doesn't know. It doesn't know that we've earlied out. Doesn't make sense. Because this will never be true, right? If this were null, would have earlied out already. But TypeScript doesn't understand it. Oh well. With that, I reduced my fix, even that. All right, in the UI, back in the UI. This will never be null. What are you doing? Alright, let's switch to the reduce and see if that makes things any better. And start with the array. Never. So UI product, here I am manually typing things again. ID name. What's this again? Currency int unit amount, ID currency unit amount. We're getting there. All right, so let's just call it unit amount. Move on with our lives. Doesn't it know? I guess it doesn't. It would be happy there, but let's just do this here. So type card. Type card looks fine. It still doesn't quite get it. Maybe it wants to opposite. But it's never null. Oh, now it doesn't know this. I see. Not convinced about this now. I love writing type cards. Said no one ever. Still complaining. So this. So it's UI product without prices. Just do it like this and move on with your life. All right. So we did that. Finally, we have hopefully monthly prices and yearly prices play within the front end here. Oh, features is the real thing. So here, I won't pass, let's say, the monthly price. And go to the pricing card. Set the price. It's a number. Object, of course. Because what is that? It's actually the UI price, as we said. This guy. Let's copy this for now. We can do it. So here we want sure. 100 euros. But of course, this is cents, so we need to divide by 100. And we can format. We have a formatter here. Formatting a date. So we can use the number format here. Is it type currency? Currency true. Currency euro. Who knows? And it's like minimum digits and maximum digits. I don't know. Remove. The formatter. And currency. Do you actually pass currency? I guess so. Doesn't do anything. And then we want to price format this. What format? Oh. Yeah. So yeah, we don't need this. And I guess the defaults are this, like 2 digits and stuff. Great. You could do like maximum fraction digits like 0, so just 5. But looks like the defaults are correct. Getting there. More obvious now. So this is the thing we're doing. This should have the interval as well, actually. Oh yeah, 5 per month, but this one should be dynamic, so this one should be the interval. And I think that's a real thing. Right? Is it? Yeah. Could also be day or whatever else the other prices. Let's see. What is it actually? Month, year, day, week. Let's put them in order. So here in the pricing card, finally, doesn't change, but it's dynamic. We managed to do the ultra one, and we'll be good to go. And can we do it? Can we do it, friends? We can do anything. That's the full price button. Maybe lookup key is what I needed. Actually. Right, did it work? It did. We have the ultra one and we have this one. They're different, even though I've used the same ones for both. Great. And I guess I want a grid. Like we want to like too much styling. I promise. So here, I guess. All right. I will update these images later, but I think we've managed to put the products up. So that's great. Should I save the checkout flow for next time? Given us we're almost 3 hours in, nah. We can do it. So it does happen that the Pro one is first, just out of luck, I suppose. Should we sort them somehow? Just to ensure that the cheapest one is first. What's this? This should ensure that the cheapest one is first. Let's sort again. Yeah, good. So just a quick sort here. Because we are doing like all this crazy stuff, maybe I should have like an internal API endpoint to do all of this as a little refactor. Because this is doing a lot of work. But hey. After all of this, we managed to do the UI to show our product. Ah, we haven't done the toggle. Oh no. Should we just do it like this? Like this being... Should we do melt UI to begin with? Nah. So we're here in this page and we're not submitting anything. I'm not doing this. Should I be using this? Nah. We'll see about buttons. I guess we won't be seeing about buttons. I am going to delete all of this. It's not helpful to anyone. We need it, we need it. Copy paste it. Don't export this. So interval should be either month or year. And here, say if it's month, then you show the monthly price, or else you do the yearly price. And if we start this with year, we see the yearly prices. Awesome. Just about see it. And it's all accurate and dynamic, and if I change it in Stripe, it will change here. So that's great. I will not style my own toggle. I will use Melt UI. So yeah, I'm gonna sit in my way here. But I know we're gonna use this, so let's just do it. Do I have other examples? No. Oh my god, it's so much code. Have the label, I have the stuff. Have like a random form here. So what should we say? How do they use the variable? The current variable. It's the value. Let's copy all of this, hope for the best. Let's create a toggle. Not Svetel. Svelte. Yeah, they call it switch here, but I always call it toggle. What do you call it? That's my question. And what do we want to be dynamic? Can I export any of this? Yes, I do not. And like I do want access to the input. So let's just copy all of this higher up. Sure. So in this premium page, let's put these guys. create the switch, and let's see the interval. Can I get the value from here? Must be getting something back, surely. Checked. Checked and is checked. The docs could be a bit better in this, but it looks like we do get back an is checked. No? All of these lies. They're not nested inside elements either. Create switch. It has elements, it has the input, it has states. Checked is a store, it has options. So can I check this? What is this? And oh, global. And here we could have this guy. Let's add the styles, I suppose. All right, I'm getting there. And left is yearly. Interesting. It does look like it's the other way around. But yeah, starts as yearly and you can check it back out. And here, I guess we can name this anything. Let's quickly do so yearly prices. this button can be this brand 1. Brand 2. Brand 2. Foreground 1. Even I don't remember the names of units. So accent 1. Cool. Yeah, but it should be the other way around. So let's do foreground 2, detect, easy surface, accent 1. Brand 2. All right, we're getting somewhere. And this is a little toggle thingy. Yeah, I should extract these somewhere. But hey, not now. Hey, this ain't toggling anymore. Third party to cookie. Interesting. It's from this image from Stripe. That's unfortunate. And the interval should be derived from exact. All right, so now everything works. We're giving the correct price to the correct card. So nice toggle is here. And now we need to handle the new customer being created and the new subscription actually being created and updated. So I guess at some point we'll have an action button here. And when you click, you create the checkout session and you actually check out. But I'm thinking maybe we can do this over the weekend and call it a stream today, since we did do a lot of webhook handling. And it will be more fun, I think, to start the stream and do something cool like the actual subscription stuff. But I don't want to wait till Tuesday, so maybe I'll pick it back up tomorrow. And that's what I'm thinking now, given we are 3 hours in. Let me know in the comments now what you want me to do. And I can refactor offline some of these things, make them a bit nicer. Keep different buttons here, just to make things clearer. So yeah, all of this seems to work. You can have the calculations here be always so per month. That's a common trick that people are doing. Let's just show the value, I guess. Not that much of a trick. But yeah, I'll try to make the UI better. And next stream will be handle the subscription events and do the checkout flow and the Stripe customer portal subscription management stuff for the users. So cool things. Showing the product and prices here dynamically is cool. source of truth is Stripe. All you need to do is make sure your webhooks are working, our webhook handlers are running correctly and as expected. But yeah, I think I'll call it a stream. So we did make quite a bit of a dent today, 3 hours in, but we still have exciting stuff to do. Let us know what's up. Hope you enjoyed the stream today and whatever we did. Let me know if you have any questions or suggestions. My problem is that I ran out of coffee, sadly. I ran out of fuel. It's not that much to do what's remaining because we figured out how to do the webhook handling, the database migrations. We'll need a couple more tables for the customers, store the customer ID and map it to our app's user IDs. And the subscriptions. So the subscription table is more complicated. It has like quite a lot of stuff and I want to double check what we're adding there instead of blindly copy and pasting this. So I'll double check. But yeah, great. Happy you enjoyed. And I'll catch you in the next one, maybe over the weekend, most probably tomorrow. And for sure, Tuesdays, Fridays, we're doing our thing. Have a lovely, lovely weekend. And I'll catch you later. Bye.